Hello, everyone. In November 2023, I interviewed TheAndredal for my upcoming GamerGate book. It recently came to my attention that TheAndredal has been permanently banned from Reddit, and he reports that his appeal was rejected about an hour after having been filed. Andredal is the founder of the fan-run Geeks and Gamers subreddit, which is not affiliated with the Geeks and Gamers website. He says he was the only active moderator at the time of his ban, and the subreddit has now gone private. Andredal says that there was a placeholder mod account to manage the sub, and that this placeholder account privated the subreddit due to mass reports. This case led me to discover an ongoing feud on Reddit between members of multiple subreddits, essentially online forums that anyone can make on Reddit, including the SaltierThanKrayt, Geeks and Gamers, KotakuInAction, and MauLer subreddits. MauLer being the unofficial subreddit for the movie content creator MauLer and the Every Frame a Pause podcast, hosted by MauLer, Rags, and Fringy. I should disclose that I sometimes post on KotakuInAction and am in contact with that community in relation to my upcoming GamerGate book. Though I did not hear about this story from KotakuInAction, at least not directly, as they have zero threads about the situation and have strictly enforced anti-brigading rules. The Andredal reports that the Geeks and Gamers subreddit had been brigaded for about a month by users from the SaltierThanKrayt subreddit and other communities. He also reports that he was banned from Reddit over sharing a meme of Ahsoka Tano reacting with affection towards learning that Anakin Skywalker would be her master instead of Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is a reference to Star Wars The Clone Wars movie and animated series. In his statement, Andredal says that it was never his intention to get Jeremy or the Geeks and Gamers organization in trouble. Andredal also says that it was perhaps not the best meme to post in hindsight. He says that he saw the meme on a Facebook page relating to Star Wars and thought it was funny. The user who reported him confirms that the Star Wars Ahsoka meme was indeed the post that he reported. Andredal says that he was looking for new mods around the time of the ban, and that the Geeks and Gamers subreddit grew from 1,000 subscribers to 6,000 subscribers in less than a month. Though this is not entirely accurate, according to subredditstats.net, the community has seen steady growth since 2019, but later exploded in growth from 2,264 subscribers in October 2023 to 3,548 subscribers in December 2023. The subreddit, which is now private, shows that they had over 6,300 subscribers as of January 23rd, 2024. Popular posts were then made on the Saltier Than Krayt and Gaming Circle Jerk subreddits about the Andredal's ban. It should be noted that the thread on Saltier Than Krayt expressly says that the main moderator, and shows his username in the screenshot, was banned for, quote, sexualizing minors, unquote. The Gaming Circle Jerk thread says that the Geeks and Gamers subreddit was banned for PDFphilia, though this is actually not true. The subreddit was not banned. It also does show the Andredal's username. A user on the Saltier Than Krayt subreddit directly admits to reporting Andredal's post and was being praised by users of the community for getting Andredal banned. The user in question, the blue posts are from the same person, responded by thanking some of the users who praised them. Saltier Than Krayt is a subreddit that describes itself as being, quote, for the discussion of the current Star Wars fandom and other big franchises, with an emphasis of criticizing and calling out toxicity within fandom. Rule 8 on their subreddit declares that raiding or brigading other subreddits will result in the user being permanently banned. Saltier Than Krayt with a Y should not be confused with Saltier Than Krayt with an I, as they are two different communities. The community with an I describes itself as a subreddit for criticizing toxic Disney Star Wars fans, and is often critical of the community with a Y. A few days prior to Andredal's ban from Reddit, a Saltier Than Krayt poster made a thread with a screenshot of a supposed Geeks and Gamers subreddit poster calling another user a PDF file. Though the user in question appears to just be a normal user, otherwise unconnected to this situation, I bring this up to provide context that some people on both sides played fast and loose with the PDF file accusations. The same accusation now being leveled at the Andredal. Users on the r/MauLer subreddit claimed that the SaltierThanKrayt community was brigading the Geeks and Gamers subreddit by mass reporting posts, and that they were responsible for the Andredal being banned. Members of the MauLer community were concerned that they would be next, and said that they had evidence that some users of the SaltierThanKrayt community intended to target them. There is indeed a screenshot, confirmed by the posters who made the post in the screenshot, of a poster with 33 upvotes on SaltierThanKrayt advocating for going after r/MauLer and KotakuInAction next. The person who admitted to reporting the Andredal resulting in his ban then responded that they would start digging into it. The user did not specify which community they intended to dig into, which people they would be targeting exactly, or what they would be looking for. The moderators of the SaltierThanKrayt community did delete the posts. When I asked the user who advocated for going after KotakuInAction and MauLer next, he sent me a handful of links in regards to MauLer. He says that the YouTuber, not the subreddit, had a guest on his podcast that had been accused of sexual misconduct. In regards to KotakuInAction, the user said that the posts, quote, speak for themselves, unquote, and linked me 7 subreddit drama threads about KotakuInAction. 2 threads were about artistic freedom, one where users discussed the heavily censored localization of Fire Emblem Fates, and another where users discussed changes made to the remastering of Chrono Cross. 2 others were threads where people discussed the ethics of child sex dolls in which no real-life children are harmed. One was a post about Mercedes Carrera being arrested. Mercedes was arrested in 2019 and still has not had her day in court, with the case being postponed numerous times over the years, and some of the charges dropped. She is entitled to the presumption of innocence. One was a user criticizing the mods for having a picture of Vivian James and an unknown character in their underwear, drawn by the artist Kukurio on their forums. The ages of the characters are not mentioned. And the last post was a now deleted comment with -6 karma of a user supposedly defending Milo Yiannopoulos and or Matt Gaetz. I reached out to the user who reported the Andredal, and they said, I reported the user as it violated Reddit terms of service. I also do this as my real life job. I comb AI search results and web searches for harmful content. And on the KotakuInAction and MauLer situation, the latter two were requested. If something is found, I will post about it. If not, then no news is good news. In my opinion, the Andredal got banned not for a first-time report or mass first report, but for repeated offenses that eventually led to a ban. Their permaban is not just likely due to the offense of sexualization of a minor, but other offenses. This is due to another report I received about another user for, quote, sexualization of a minor, unquote, where that user was only given a warning. I have a screenshot of that warning as well. The SaltierThanKrayt community later upvoted a post talking about how members of the MauLer community are, quote, getting nervous, unquote, and falsely claiming that the Geeks and Gamers community was shuttered for C3PO. The community was not banned, nor was the top moderator banned specifically for posting C3PO, which would be illegal. While many of the top comments celebrated this, at least one poster on SaltierThanKrayt did criticize making false reports against other communities, just because they didn't like the community. I did reach out to SaltierThanKrayt for comment, and they said, we are a response to the reactionary communities to show that they do not speak for all fans. The moderator of Geeks and Gamers created a post where he sexualized a child. It was reported to the Reddit admins. They thought what he did was so bad that they banned him from Reddit. How is that brigading? I've banned people from r/MauLer for brigading. Multiple people from r/MauLer would leave many rude comments, and they would continue to do so if they were not banned. When I brought up that the Andredal was banned over the Ahsoka meme and that the poster who reported them confirmed that, they said it does not change their position. The moderators of SaltierThanKrayt say that they do try to prevent raiding by removing uncensored screenshots and they do not allow cross posts. I have been unable to verify their claim that the MauLer community has brigaded them. A user with a relatively new account and self-described throwaway handle created a subreddit called Geeks Gamers Community 2, with the founder saying on SaltierThanKrayt, I created our Geeks Gamers Community 2, as a more mentally healthy place for neutral conversation for fandom stuff. It could also be a circle jerk making fun of them too. Who knows? The SaltierThanKrayt moderators deleted the comments about the creation of the new subreddit. It currently sits at 32 subscribers, and most of the posts are criticizing either the Andredal or the Geeks and Gamers community subreddit. I asked the founder of Geeks Gamers 2 what evidence they have for their claim, which is pinned on their subreddit that the Andredal was lying about what he actually posted. The founder of the subreddit said, "It's pinned in the sub. He claims that was it, but I don't buy it. Reddit wouldn't ban someone for posting a picture insinuating something unless it's deliberate." When asked if they view Geeks Gamers 2 as more of a mocking or trolling of the original community, or if they intended to develop it, add more mods, and flesh it out into a fan or anti-fan community, they replied, "The original sub, like its YouTube channel and Twitter users and whatnot, is hate-mongering grifting, hate speech, just people angry at stuff that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I'd like to develop it healthier and still add a bit of circle jerk flair, making fun of the hate mongers that poison fandom discourse. My problem with fandom discourse is that people need to tell you something sucks, like it's their job. That's what toxic discourse is. That's what the previous sub is. SaltierThanKrayt, MauLer, and many others. It's a safe space for being hateful and having hate speech. I want to create something mentally healthier." When asked if they think that accusing the Andredal about lying, with the implication being that he is a PDF file, when they don't know that to be certain, if they think that that engenders a better fandom culture, or that it is in and of itself a form of toxicity, they replied with, "I think if you're sharing something PDF-philic, there's something deeply rooted, and maybe a cry for help. Maybe something worse. He isn't responding on Twitter either." There also may have been some minor drama between the Geeks and Gamers subreddit and the Batman Arkham subreddit, where there were 3 topics made by 3 different users on Batman Arkham about the Geeks and Gamers community in the past 17 days. One with 2,300 upvotes and 855 comments, asking why is Geeks and Gamers a transphobic community? Are they stupid? Another with 2 upvotes and no comments asks if they should declare war on our Geeks Gamers community. And a third one with 6 upvotes and 7 comments asks, why is Geeks Gamers community downvoting us? Are we smart? I have no reason to think that the Batman Arkham community was responsible for the mass reporting of the Andredal. With the Geeks and Gamers subreddit privated, some users in the now privated community have expressed frustration at the situation, as well as at there being only one active moderator. As the community is private, I asked Andredal for permission to share the screenshot. The specific allegation that the Andredal is a PDF had circulated relatively far and wide, though it appears I may have been the first person to do a deep dive on the situation. The Serfs said that, quote, "the head moderator was allegedly sexualizing minors," unquote, and that, quote, "every accusation is a confession with these anti-LGBTQ plus bigots," unquote. The Serfs also made a short video about the situation in which they said that the head moderator had been accused of, quote, "sexualizing minors," unquote.
One of the most toxic nerd fandoms on the internet, Geeks and Gamers, apparently the head mod is alleged to have been sexualizing minors. If you're not familiar with Geeks and Gamers, they're one of the most popular pop culture right-wing channels that overlaps with the Quartering and that guy who's like, "fucking pronouns, California's a fucking current ice." You might also know them as the toxic fandom that was so bad that even Zack Snyder had to disown them when he was promoting one of his superhero films. The subreddit SaltierThanKrayt, which is one that tracks toxic fandom in the Star Wars and greater communities, has been posting one of their top posts today saying that the Geeks and Gamers community has gone private after their main moderator was banned on Reddit for sexualizing minors. At first, the head of Geeks and Gamers, DJ Cobra, said this is a disgusting lie and I won't let this slide. Now he's saying, to give further context, I've always said people that watch our streams or like what we do can create their own fan-run communities for Geeks and Gamers, but I might have to rethink this now. The thing all these channels have in common is they constantly vilify LGBTQ plus people as groomers or pedophiles, but it turns out once again every accusation seems to be a confession with these bigots.
Matt Jarbo, also known as MundaneMatt, said, quote, "if there isn't anything to worry about, why go private? What are you hiding?" Matt Jarbo then talked about the controversy on his live show in an episode titled Geeks Plus Gamers or Geeks Plus Groomers? In the show, he goes through the Andredal's history and even says that he knows him. The context before this is that Matt and his co-host are going through a list of Andredal's videos and even played one of them for less than a minute before backing out and discussing the various thumbnails and titles again.
Anyway,
Wow.
this keeps on going. So we establish that this guy is,
It just
he's
has
cray-cray.
exposed it.
Okay, not only that, but he also posted a lot over here on KotakuInAction too, which is the GamerGate subreddit. So we can come see here. This is his, the post. We haven't seen anything in a while, but we can kind of get an idea of the gaming press is always on the side of the disgruntled consumer. Whatever. It's like Project Veritas, Twitter, banned. You can tell like what kind of person he is.
Yeah.
Just by looking at this kind of stuff, right?
Or he
Twitter
should be
hypocrisy.
on a watch list.
I don't know if I'd say watch list necessarily, but I mean the dude is.
We're on the wait list to be on a watch
Yeah.
list.
Like the whole thing here with Anheuser-Busch and Dylan Mulvaney, obviously we're this day on that one. So this guy has clearly been around for a while, and he's also been busted on Reddit before. He actually got suspended. This was 1 year ago. He was suspended, permanently banned for promoting hate. And he did this some posting over on Louder with Crowder. So he's a Steven Crowder supporter as well, which just goes to show you again how retarded he is.
Yeah, fuck Steven Crowder.
TheAndredal confirms that he was banned on Reddit about a year ago as well, though that ban was reversed on appeal and for a different reason. I should also point out that at various points in his show, Matt Jarbo mixes up KotakuInAction with KotakuInAction 2, two entirely separate communities and very different. Matt tried to shame Andredal for supporting GamerGate on Twitter, or at least tried to bring it up for reasons unknown, to which the Andredal replied that Matt also supported GamerGate, which is true, he did, and that Andredal even interviewed him. Matt Jarbo ignored the Andredal, despite just talking about him extensively on his show and tweeting about him several times, and not presenting his side of the story or any of the evidence at all for the claim that he is a PDF file. Nor did Matt Jarbo, nor the Serfs, nor Star Wars Garrison reach out to Andredal for comment. For additional context, this is some of what the Andredal had to say about his political views in my GamerGate book interview with him. We discussed political and social issues at length in the interview.
No, just if you want to lay out what like your political values are. I know you say you don't pay too close attention to politics currently, though.
I mean I've kind of had the same political leaning since I've started the GamerGate. I've only really, I don't know if I can say I've changed my view, but the only thing I kind of put my political leaning on is like abortion. That's like my only thing that I've really kind of made up my mind since starting GamerGate. Otherwise, I've really had the same sort of political lean. I'm slightly to the center of left. I'm anti-authoritarian, anti-censorship, pro freedom of expression. I've even had I had once a discussion with a colleague of mine because I was very pro free speech, and I even made the argument that you should be able to say hateful stuff about groups, even if I don't agree with that, because I believe the sunlight is the best disinfectant to really hateful and bad ideas, and the only reason those sort of ideas win is because of censorship. So I hate the term free speech absolutist because I think it's a stupid term, but I'm very pro free speech. I'm very pro freedom of expression when it comes to art and artists doing what they want without being censored, which has been hard for some. I mean, YouTube is a cesspool, Facebook is a cesspool of freedom of expression.
In addition to being covered by MundaneMatt and TheSerfs, Star Wars Garrison also tweeted out a statement about the situation. Though they did not mention Andredal by name or by his position as the head moderator, it should be noted that he is the only active moderator. The Star Wars Garrison tweet, however, did link the unofficial subreddit to the Geeks and Gamers organization, but they later deleted this after being informed by the founder of the organization that the subreddit was unofficial. After deleting the tweet, Star Wars Garrison made a second tweet announcing that they had spoken with the founder of Geeks and Gamers and had apologized. Star Wars Garrison reports that the founder had accepted their apology. The founder of Geeks and Gamers also said, "To give further context, I've always said that people who watch our streams or like what we do can create their own fan-run communities for Geeks and Gamers, within reason. I might have to rethink this now. I always specify whether it's a fan-run community or if it's directly ran by G&G when people try to advertise them in our chat. I also ask fan-run communities to put those specifics in their titles and/or rules, etc. G&G does not have an official Reddit. We have no involvement with the operation of that account." Despite this setback, Andredal is hopeful that the Geeks and Gamers subreddit will be reopened and has said that he has considered continuing the community off of the Reddit platform. He says that he is continuing to fight against his Reddit ban, but is not optimistic. Now, as for what I think of the situation, as it appears that the only thing that the Andredal was banned for is posting the meme of Ahsoka Tano apparently having a crush on Anakin Skywalker, that is extraordinarily mild, and almost certainly not ban-worthy. I also have a problem with this being widely talked about as, quote, sexualizing minors, unquote, all over social media, forums, and even by video creators to their large audiences, without any additional context. If you're going to accuse someone of sexualizing minors, you better bring the receipts. Even the founder of our Geeks Gamers community 2 failed to provide evidence to back up their assertion when asked. I think that's a problem. I don't really care if the various subreddits want to shit post about each other, troll each other, criticize each other, or discuss the ideas that each other have. But accusing someone of being a PDF file over a Star Wars meme is probably way over the line. I don't think that the SaltierThanKrayt user who reports being falsely accused of being a PDF file as well should have been accused either. You might not like TheAndredal or the Geeks and Gamers subreddit, but you probably shouldn't remove them from your circle of concern to such an extreme extent that you view it as morally righteous to make spurious accusations that can cause serious reputational harm and get them permanently banned from Reddit. Nor should people be engaged in attempting to get their opponents' lives and communities destroyed. The fact is, not everyone in the Star Wars fandom is going to agree with each other. That's fine. It's a movie franchise, and a cool one. I love it too. But you're not going to stop the bad people from existing. You're going to have to learn to accept living in a pluralistic world where people have a variety of perspectives on any given movie or video game or comic book or whatever it happens to be, and that's fine. Maybe it's even great, and we can all have a greater array of fictional stories and choices because of this diversity. When it comes to the attempt to go after our MauLer and KotakuInAction next, I think it's pathetic. I think trying to take down a subreddit or advocating for others to do so because a podcaster who the subreddit is associated with had someone on their podcast that they think is a bad person is pretty weak. And I don't find any of the 7 posts about KotakuInAction to be credible reasons to engage in censorship or witch hunts. It seems like they just don't like KotakuInAction or the MauLer subreddit, so they want to go after them. I think it's really sad. Of course, they have the right to criticize posts on KotakuInAction if they don't like them, but this is extremely weak sauce and is, I think, quite indicative of how much they want to shrink the Overton window. I also find it interesting that the members of these various communities talk about many of the same topics and talk to each other all the time, it seems. Yet they don't seem to talk to each other almost ever, except in very hostile exchanges like this, perhaps. That might not be entirely fair. Maybe there are some posters who post on both subreddits and engage in good faith. Unfortunately, though, they mostly seem to have discussions about each other rather than with each other. Though I should point out that KotakuInAction does not talk about this pretty much at all. They don't talk about meta stuff. The same thing happened during GamerGate. The Gamergazi community was largely unwilling to engage with those who disagreed with them on KotakuInAction and other communities. However, one thing that people on both sides of the Gamergate debate did was create a number of subreddits where people on both sides could come together to talk about the issues with each other and or associate with one another and discuss topics other than Gamergate. There were serious debate subreddits like r against Gamergate and later r/GG discussion, which is still somewhat active, as well as shitposting subreddits where both sides gave each other a hard time and trolled each other like r/GG free for all, as well as more light-hearted attempts to bring people together like our GG After Dark and our The Dork Side, where both sides came together to discuss non-Gamergate topics. People who disagreed on almost everything related to Gamergate, or at least large aspects of the Gamergate conversation, coming together and just talking about whatever they wanted to, whatever's happening in their day, whatever movies they're watching, whatever anime they're into, whatever they're playing, just normal conversations with people who disagree with each other coming together. These were just the most notable, but there were a number of other smaller subreddits as well. And for the record, I did used to regularly post on many of these communities and do occasionally post on GG discussion. Yet there don't seem to be these more neutral meeting grounds for members of these communities, at least not that I've seen so far. Maybe that is something they should look at. I don't think it will solve their problems entirely. The fundamental issue seems to be that some people don't want to coexist with people who disagree with them. I don't know how you solve that problem. But if people on both sides want to make one or more new subreddits where people can discuss and debate issues with one another, either relating to Star Wars or general fandom or whatever it happens to be, then I think that would be interesting, if nothing else. As for the various moderators of subreddits like SaltierThanKrayt, I don't think that they have an obligation to police off subreddit content. In fact, it's probably better in my opinion that they don't. Things that happen off the subreddit should probably play no role in the user status on the subreddit, at least as a general matter. Perhaps there are some extreme edge cases. If specific individuals have broken the rules against brigading, though, on that sub or any other subreddit, then the rules should be enforced evenly and fairly. Of course, this is all assuming that there's no behind the scenes connections or anything like that. As for the people who covered this topic and talked about it to their audiences, I think that it's good that Star Wars Garrison admitted their mistake in linking the unofficial subreddit to the official organization and apologized to the founder of Geeks and Gamers, D-Day Cobra. As for whether or not they should issue an apology to the Andredal personally or to the Geeks and Gamers subreddit, I don't know if they necessarily have a moral obligation to do so. They can if they want, and it might be best. It's probably a good idea to, as they never did correct that the subreddit was not banned. The subreddit was never banned, despite their post saying it was, nor did they dive into the nuance of the reasons for the ban. Based on their actions in the situation so far, though, I would not inherently assume that Star Wars Garrison is operating in bad faith. Though they did include the screenshot of the reason for Andredal's ban. While not officially naming him himself, the screenshot does contain his name and that he was supposedly banned for sexualizing minors. That's probably something they're going to want to correct. Now, as for Matt Jarbo and the Serfs, they both did very little to investigate the situation. They promoted spurious accusations of serious wrongdoing without going over any of the evidence or reaching out to the person they were talking about. Much of MundaneMatt's commentary on the Andredal seems to be about how he doesn't like his opinions. Okay, so what? Just because you don't like his opinions doesn't make him a PDF file. That doesn't mean it's justified to make things up or portray things in a deliberately negative light, dishonestly, to try and smear him? No. The Serfs also spend time in their less than 1 minute long video, a YouTube short, to signal to their audience just how much they don't like the politics of these people. Andredal says that Matt Jarbo and the Serfs never reached out to them for comment. Matt Jarbo even says in his video that he knows the Andredal. Matt and Andredal have tweeted at each other multiple times, and the Andredal even interviewed Matt on his YouTube channel. Yet Matt didn't seem to think if he should ask him to get his side of the story before accusing him of being a PDF file and promoting damaging and unproven allegations against him. Matt seems more interested in virtue signaling to his new friends and audience about how much he's not like the Andredal. And by doing this, he did a disservice not only to the Andredal, but to the truth and to his audience. Instead of ignoring the person they are accusing of, quote, sexualizing minors, unquote, to their audience without providing context or evidence, they should give him a fair hearing. Matt Jarbo and Lance from the Serfs probably do have a moral obligation to try and fix the poor job that they've done of reporting on this situation to their massive audiences. Andredal even reached out to Matt, and he was just ignored, just completely ignored. There is seemingly no place in the new MundaneMatt's heart for concerns of the peasant Andredal. After all, he knows exactly what this kind of person is like. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is my first long-form video since coming back. If you like the content, be sure to like and subscribe. Feel free to leave comments too, whether you like it or not. You can find links to my Discord and socials in the description. Right now, much of my content is related to my upcoming GamerGate book. I've interviewed over 50 people for the book, and sometimes I'll make content like this too. Reddit, Matt Jarbo, TheSerfs, MauLer, D-Day Cobra, Star Wars Garrison, R Gaming Circle Jerk, and the KotakuInAction mods have not responded to requests for comment. Our MauLer responded to my request for comment only to clarify that they only consider our SaltierThanKrayt with a Y and not the subreddit with an I to be hostile against them.